Okay, this is the second part of how to keep your kitchen knives sharp. Wet. So last time we talked about the strop, and it's basically going to be the major tool that you're going to use to keep your knife sharp. And you're going to take it again a little bit lower than the angle that your knife was ground at. And just continue to do this anytime it needs a slight touch-up. Okay, so that the green compound cuts and polishes, and it's about I think it's about 18,000 grit for the polishing part. But you'll just do that, and it should bring the edge right back. If you go past that point where the strop isn't polishing or sharpening anymore, this is probably what happened. I did my art. So you were sent this, your knife here with a nice point on it. As it wears, the edge gets rounded over, and what you're going to have to do to get this back into shape is cut down and take all of that side steel off. So everything in black here is going to have to be taken off, so you end up with a good edge again. So the idea is to take your knife and not raise the angle above how it was delivered to you, but keep it at the same angle. Okay? So it's going to be down around here. And you want to keep that constant angle. So you don't want to do one day this way, the next day this way, next day that way. So whatever angle you choose, keep that there and sharpen it at that angle every time, okay? Being really careful not to lift that up, because you'll be rounding off the edge and having to go to a stone or something. So the most important thing is not necessarily the angle, but the consistency of the angle. So keep that constant so you don't get that extra round over. If you have to go to a stone, if you have a stone, that's great. Use it. Don't use a coarse stone. Use something that's a 1,000 grit, and that would be your coarse stone for sharpening. And then after the coarse stone, go back to your strop and strop it again at that angle that it arrived to you at, whatever English that is. So if you do have to go to a stone, if you use a water stone or an oil stone, it really doesn't matter, as long as it's not too coarse. You don't want to take off too much metal, or you want to be able to go from your stone to your strop. So once again, it's very much like stropping, where you take your blade, you find your angle that you want to do it at, and you can either, it's going to bring up a lot of issues, you can either put pressure down on the draw. You can put pressure down on the draw and the backstroke, or you can put pressure down on the forward stroke as it is. So either way, whatever you're comfortable with, do that. So you're going to do this. You're going to count the number of strokes that you've done. You're going to flip it over, do the same amount of strokes. And the whole purpose of doing the same on either side is so when you get your edge like this, it stays in the center and it doesn't end up being off to a side. Okay, so try to do the same number of strokes. This is a coarse stone. Okay? So you're going to do this until, put your fingers down on where you want to have the stone take metal off the blade, and then move it down a bit. Same number of strokes, further down. Same number of strokes, further down. Same number of strokes, all the way to the end, to your point, and then flip it over and repeat the process. So you want to keep the same angle, the same number of strokes. And you want to keep your, if it's a water stone, keep it wet. If it's an oil stone, the whole purpose of wetting it is it lifts up the metal that's cut off the blade and it floats it up so it doesn't clog up the stone. And be careful when you do this. If you put your finger down here and it's half on the blade and half on the stone, you're going to be abrading your finger also. So be careful about that. Keep it. Okay, so that's the angle right there. So keep it on the metal. And you should be able to feel that if you put pressure down on the edge and just lift up a little bit on the blade. As soon as it stops, that's the angle that you want to sharpen it at. You'll feel it flex and then stop. You'll take a lot of pressure coming up here. Okay, so right there. So after you do your coarse stone, you're going to go to your, that's the metal that has come off so far. Okay, and that's the purpose of the water or oil, is to float that away. So you shouldn't have to go anything coarser than just 1,000 grit. It's a medium stone. And do the same thing here. So it's fairly consistent between stones and the strop. Sharpening is similar for all of the tools that you're going to use. If you push down on here and you're sharpening it, you might get what's called a burr. It's a little ridge that comes up. You don't have to sharpen this until you see the burr, feel the burr, but it does tell you that you've reached the edge. The edge of your knife. If you don't have a water stone and you want to get one, this is a king stone. They're very inexpensive stones. They're man-made, and Amazon has one that's half 1,000 grit and half 6,000 grit, and it's less than $30. So you could always do that if you want to. If you don't want to do, go out and get a water stone, you can do the same thing with sandpaper. Try 400, 600, 800 grit sandpaper, and what you'll basically do, if you want to, you could tape it top and bottom, and then to something flat. Make sure you're using a good flat surface. This happens to be a piece of slate that was off of a pool table So we're hoping that originally it was flat, it was ground well, so we're trusting it and using it that way. But put the sandpaper down, find your edge, and do the same thing with sandpaper. Okay. This had natural stone, so it's about a 6,000, 8,000, right around there. But again, find the edge that you're going to use and sharpen away with this until you have your edge back. And then again, go up to your strop a little bit lower than that angle, and you can put that finished edge back onto your knife. Okay, so you have a choice of water stones, oil stones, sandpaper. Go to the strop to finish it up. A couple of things to remember, and I'll probably always repeat this, the things that you don't do with your knife is you don't put it in a dishwasher. You don't let it sit in water, either the blade or the handle, so keep that out of it. If you don't want to deal with anything at all, strop it until it no longer accepts that edge and you can't get the razor cutting edge that you want, and take it to a good reputable knife sharpener. If there's a culinary store in your town, take it to there. It should only be about $5 or so to get it sharpened. Talk to them and tell them what you want with your knife. Tell them that you want it around 16 degrees or so, and then you can keep it there with your strop again. But please don't take it to a farmer's market knife sharpener. They're going to use grinders that are rather coarse. They're just concerned about getting it done quickly, not necessarily the best way they can. This knife has been used for 6 months. There's a slight patina coming up on it, and all I have ever done is strop it. I haven't sharpened it in 6 months. So just that nice edge on the bottom or the top has been kept up with the strap, and it is very sharp. Okay, so the things that you want to remember is, one thing about the patina, the patina, it does help protect the blade against rusting to some degree. It doesn't stop it all the way, but it will help a little bit. See my EDC, I keep polished. The kitchen knives, I let go with the patina. So it really doesn't matter what you do as long as you're comfortable with it. So the final thing is keep it clean, keep it dry, and keep it sharp. It'll be much more enjoyable if it's sharp. It'll be doing its designated function a lot better. Okay? And try to keep the geometry that the knife was sent to you in. So the knife's going to have certain angles to it. Try to keep those. Okay? It'll be right there. So you could do this with sandpaper or a stone, an oil stone, or anything else. Even if you have a little hand, some people make a diamond, a little diamond stick about this long. So if you want to, you can do that again. I would put it down like this, so the edge is just off the board, and I would sharpen it this way, keeping that angle, or put the stick down and just draw this, that's 2 inches or so that you have up the stick. So it's really not hard keeping it sharp. There is a process to it, and it's all very similar. It's all very easy, and for me, it's enjoyable. I hope you find it partly enjoyable also, and just keep it that way. If you're going to start using a steel, make sure you don't just hit the steel and come down and hit the steel and come down, because right now that's the angle that you're reshaping your blade to. Okay, so make sure when you hit it, it's deliberate. You come down and you stroke down the steel the angle that you want. Okay? So make sure you do that. Okay, so pay attention to your angle no matter what you use. And you should be able to keep your kitchen knives nice and sharp with that. So a little bit of effort over a long time will give you a really nice edge, a really good knife to work with. If you let it go too long, you're going to have to go back to a stone and get your angle back again and take down the sides, because this is what's going to be happening. You're going to be rounding that off here, and you're going to have to take off a lot of steel to get your edge back. Otherwise, you're forming new geometry to it, and instead of doing your 15-20 degree edge, you're going to be doing a 30-degree edge, or 35 or even 40 if you start working on it this way. Okay, so once again, keep it clean, keep it dry, and keep it sharp. And that should help you keeping your blades, your kitchen knives sharp. Okay, stay happy. Bye.